Medina. So how did they create the Republic of Medina after Hijra? So political parties, we start with the political parties in Medina after Hijra. So what are these political parties after Hijra, that is, which were present in Medina? So we are saying that there were 4 parties in Medina, that is, the Muhajirin, these are the migrants, and they were about, because they were few, so they were about 150. These are the Muslims who migrated from Mecca to Medina. So we had the Muhajirin and the Ansar. These are the helpers who welcomed the Muslims. These were the natives of Yathrib. So we had Muhajirin, we had the Ansar, and on the other side now the Munafiqin. These are the hypocrites who were led by Abdullah bin Ubay bin Salul. And then there were the Jews on the other side. So these are the 4 political parties that we are talking about: Muhajirin, Ansar, Munafiqin, and the Jews. These were the parties that were in Medina during that time. So the Munafiqin now, the hypocrites, were led by Abdullah bin Ubay bin Salul. The strife-weary, that is the violent and the angry people of Medina, had almost chosen him as their ruler when Muhammad, peace be upon him, came and he was cast aside. So he was almost chosen as the ruler of Medina before now the coming of the Prophet, peace be upon him. Now many of the natives of Yathrib voted for the Prophet, peace be upon him, to rule Medina, and he was so bittered by it. So let's look at the brotherhood of Muhajirin and the Ansar. We said that the Muhajirin, these are the migrants who migrate, the Muslims who migrated now from Mecca to Medina, and the Ansar, these are the helpers, these are the natives of Yathrib who welcomed the Muhajirin. So the Muhajirin arrived in Medina in a deplorable condition, that is, they were in a miserable condition. And when we talk about the miserable, these are the persecution that we talked about in our previous sessions. So most had left their families. So the Muhajirin, most of them had left their families, children, friends, houses, and money behind for the sake of Allah. So Muhajirin and the Ansar had the following relationship. We are saying that after migrating from Mecca, and the reason as to why they migrated is because of the unbearable conditions that were there. Because the Quraysh were so hostile to them, to the extent that they started even persecuting them. That's why they had to leave their own land to Yathrib, and they left everything in Mecca. So they had to leave everything, that is for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Muhajirin, now let's look at the relationship that the Muhajirin, these are the migrants, and the Ansar had. So one of the relationships that the Ansar and the Muhajirin were united by the bond of Islamic brotherhood. Because we are saying that the Ansar embraced Islam, and the Muhajirin, these are the people who converted to Islam. These were the people, the Quraysh, because they were coming from Mecca, so they were among the tribes of the Quraysh whom they converted to Islam and migrated to Medina. So they formed a united, and they were united by the bond of Islamic brotherhood. So that's one of the relationship that they had. Then we have the Ansar showered charity by sharing their wealth with the Muhajirin. So because the Muhajirin had left everything at Mecca, so the Ansar had to show or to give charity or to share their wealth with the Muhajirin. Also, the Ansar also adopted their fellow brothers into their homes. that is, they also welcomed them. They also hosted these Muslims, the Muhajirin, into their own houses. Then they also built houses for others. So the Ansar also built houses for the Muhajirin who they did not have place to stay. Then some found jobs for them to do on their plantation. So they also had to look for a job for the Muhajirin so that they can survive. And some of the Ansar also gave the Muhajirin support in starting their own business. Some of the Ansar were saying that also gave them money or supported them, that is, in giving them the goods to start their own business. So that is the relationship that the Muhajirin and the Ansar had. Let's look at the charter of Medina, the Charter of Medina, and it's also known as the Constitution of Medina. So, which is these constitutions that we are talking about, the Constitution of Medina? So, the Medina Constitution was an agreement between the Muslims and the other Arabian tribes in Medina, that is the Jews, Christians, and the polytheists, to regulate relations and ensure peace between all of them, that is among all the tribes that were there. So it's an agreement. Constitution of Medina was an agreement between Muslims and the other tribes that were in Yathrib or in Medina during that time. So the charter was basically divided into three parts. We had the political clauses, the civil clauses, and also the religious clauses. So the Constitution of Medina had the following terms. One of the terms is that the Ansar and the Muhajirin shall constitute one group of Ummah to exclusion of others. So Ansar and Muhajir, because there are many tribes there, so the Ansar and Muhajirin were one group. So they were considered as one group among the others. Then all Muhajirin shall take the responsibility of their own words, shall pay blood among them, and shall also ransom their prisoners in the event of war. So even though they were held by the Ansar, the Muhajirin had to take responsibility of whatever they say and also pay blood money if they do anything wrong, and also they had to pay money for the prisoners to free their prisoners, that is the prisoners of war. Among the terms also, the people of Banu Aus and the 6 other tribes will be responsible for their own words and pay blood money for their prisoners. So as it's not only for Muhajirin but also the Aus, the Banu Aus, the Banu Khazraj, so and all the tribes that were present in Yathrib, they also had to take responsibility of whatever they say, also pay blood money with if they do anything wrong, if they kill somebody, so they had to pay back, and also to free their prisoners, they also had to give ransoms. Then another term is that every believer shall be against whoever is rebellious or spread enmity. So everybody or every believer will be against whoever or the hypocrites. So will be against the hypocrite or spread enmity among the tribes that are present in Medina. So they shall be against whoever spreads enmity among the tribes, and also whoever go against the terms of the constitution. So a believer shall neither kill a believer nor support an unbeliever against a believer. So any any person or a believer is not supposed to kill another believer or come into conspiracy, that is to support an unbeliever by killing another believer. So that's one of the terms that were there. Another term is that any offender shall not be assisted or sympathized with by a believer. So if anybody offends or go against the terms, shall not be assisted by a believer or be sympathized by a believer. Then we have both the Jews and the Muslims shall have an equal right of citizenship in Medina. So everybody in Medina shall have an equal right of citizenship in Medina as far as we accept the principles out of the terms that had been laid out. Then, in case the Jews fight alongside the Muslims, they shall contribute to the cause of the war. So if assume they were attacked, all of them, then the Jews, because they are not, they did not convert to Islam, so they shall contribute to the expenditure of that particular war. Then another term is that there shall be freedom of worship for both the Jews and the Muslims. So it doesn't matter if you embrace to Islam or not. As far as you accept the rules and the terms, then you are allowed to worship your own religion. Another term is that anyone who breaches the terms of the Constitution from either side shall face the consequences. So if anybody is the believer or non-believer, if anybody goes against the terms that were assessed, then he or she will be punished. Then another term is that there shall be no going to war without the Prophet's approval, but lawful avenge is acceptable. So nobody or any tribe shall not go for war without the Prophet's permission, but the lawful avenge in between the tribes, it is acceptable. Then another term is that the Jews and the Muslims shall each be responsible of their livelihood, but if attacked, they have a duty to defend each other. So each tribe has a duty to look for their own food, on how to live. But if they were attacked, any of the tribes are attacked, then they have to chip in, they have to defend one another. And lastly, that the valley of Yathrib, that is the valley of Medina, will be taken as sacred by those agreeing to the contract. So whoever accepts this contract, then the valley, that is the city of Medina, shall be taken as sacred to those people or to whoever accepts these terms. So that's all about the foundation, the importance of Hijra, foundation of the Republic of Medina, and also the terms that was set in the Medinan Constitution. If you have any question, you can ask in the Google Classroom or via WhatsApp. Otherwise, thank you and have a good day.